Don't kill my vibe, baby. I'm walking on the moon. Oh, oh, oh. I'm walking on the moon. Don't kill my vibe, baby. I'm walking on the moon.
So it's not quite the pristine white sandy beaches that we pictured just yet.
And to be fair, we knew we wouldn't be on white sandy beaches just yet, but I don't think we expected to be in eastern North Carolina either.
It is 46 degrees this morning, but we are leaving eastern North Carolina starting today to start the process of going to those white sandy beaches.
Yes, we're gonna get down to Beaufort and then we will sail to
Charleston.
Yes, and then we'll sail to Charleston from there, and then after Charleston, we'll make our way to the Bahamas. As we leave today, we have realized that we've done quite an extensive shakedown of this boat in the last few months, and we wanted to share some of the other expectations that we had and the realities that met them.
Some good, some bad, but all really good information to have before we take off for the Bahamas. It's time to get going, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. My galley. I really do love the galley on this boat. It was probably one of my major concerns moving aboard. In the house that I built, my kitchen was 200 square feet. 200 square feet! It was massive. I had a spot for everything. It was incredible. So I was super nervous about moving aboard the boat and dealing with the teeny tiny galley space. But I think that the Leopard 40 has plenty of space, especially for two people. I have 2 empty drawers right now, and 1 empty shelf for appliances and cookware and stuff like that. So I actually have a lot of space available for extra gadgets and things. But as of right now, we have everything we need. As far as provisioning goes, we have provisioned the boat with food for up to 3 weeks at this point and had plenty of space. The fridge was getting full, but not packed to the brim. The freezer was like half full, and then there was tons of room for more dry storage. So I'm fairly confident that we could do like 2 months of provisioning on the boat. I don't think it would probably be as much fresh food as we like to eat. There'd probably be more like canned food and frozen vegetables, but there's plenty of space for several months of food on the boat. Not a problem there. Limiting factor might be the propane. We have 2 propane tanks on board, and right now we go through about 1 a month. Maybe a little longer, but 1 a month is a safe quote. We could potentially stretch that propane just a bit further by not cooking all of our meals on the stove. If we had an electric kettle for coffee or an Instapot to cook some of our lunch and dinner, that would obviously make the propane last longer, but it's going to use more power. So that's something that I guess I'll let Charles fill you in on.
So we have 600 amp hours across 3 batteries for our house batteries on the boat, and we have a couple different ways we can charge them. Both engines will charge the batteries. We have a 6 kilowatt generator that will charge the batteries, but ultimately we want to be off-grid as much as possible, and that means solar. And we have 650 watts of solar on the boat, and that's enough to get by on a sunny day, but not quite enough to get by on a cloudy day. So we're probably going to look into adding some more once we get back from the Bahamas. Probably a solar arch over the dinghy that will add an additional 1200 watts. And once we do that, we can have the inverter on all day, so we can do things like run an Instapot, or Jess can dry our hair or things like that right now that we really can't do right now because we don't have enough power. But it's certainly enough to get by, and we're making it work, and it really hasn't been a problem yet, but we could have a little bit more and make life a little bit easier. For the days that there's not enough sun to get by, we can obviously run the generator to top the batteries off. The generator takes diesel. Now we have two 45-gallon tanks, one to run each engine. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think we had an expectation, but our engines are both 29 horsepower, so they're very small and they're very fuel efficient. We have been cruising up and down the ICW for 2 months, and we've only had to fill up our diesel tanks once. And we still have a lot left right now. Having said that, the generator only pulls from the starboard side. If you run the generator enough, you may end up out of balance on how much diesel is in each tank, and that's a little bit where we are right now because it's been cold, so we've been running the generator at night. And we do have a fuel transfer pump that will take diesel from the port side to the starboard side, but we've never tried it, so I don't know if it works. I don't know which breakers need to be turned on, so we're gonna actually go ahead and take care of that right now and make sure that that works.
Unfortunately, we're stopped in a spot where where there's no cell signal, so I just have to be able to listen for Charles yelling to let me know. Ooh, oh, hi. Hi there.
Hello.
Fortunately, our cabin comes with a creeper window.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm probably more qualified button pusher. Okay, so it did slosh, but as it turns out, we're on the ocean and it's sloshing all the time. I feel like I heard fuel going in. So I think it was working.
We either need you to give me a definitive or push the button.
Okay, I definitively think it was working.
Okay, so
But
if I push it some more, it will continue moving fuel over.
okay. I think it's working. I think fuel is coming. And this is the empty one?
Yeah, that's the lower one. We have a lot of fuel.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad we're learning how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep pushing. I just didn't want to go out there. It is so windy and a little cold. Well, it's definitely working.
Yeah?
Hey! It's working. Whoa. Whew. A little lightheaded. It's working. I can hear it going in there.
Okay, great. Easy. Just push the button.
Just push the button.
I was out there alone, moving from station to station. I've been searching for the right one, but I was ready for something more. My perfect love.
Next up is water. We are taking this opportunity to fill up both of our tanks before we head to Charleston. We do have a Spectra 16 gallon per hour water maker on board, but we don't like to use it on the East Coast because of all the sediment in the water. We'll just go through filters so fast and it's just not worth it. So we are using Marina water to fill up both of our tanks. We have two 100-gallon tanks on board, and each one will last us anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks. 1 week if we're doing things like washing the boat, doing a whole bunch of laundry on board, taking long showers, etc. And 2 weeks if we're being super cognizant about our water, which means that we can last anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks with the water that we have on board the boat, which certainly surpasses our expectations for how long we thought water on the boat would last. If we wanted to, we could stretch it out even further by switching the heads from freshwater to saltwater.
One more thing on the water. I think Jess mentioned it, but we do have a saltwater freshwater toggle. So if we, from a freshwater perspective, if we're running low or we're doing a really long crossing and we're concerned about running out of water, we can flip the heads to saltwater, which will protect our freshwater source, our drinking water, and we won't have to worry about using fresh water for the heads. Which brings us to the last item that determines how long we can be self-sustaining and off the grid, and that is our holding tanks. Legally, you're allowed to just dump them into the water when you're 12 miles offshore, and since we've been in inland waters, obviously we've never been 12 miles offshore, so our expectation was that we would maybe get 2 weeks out of it, but we actually only have one working head right now. The port side head joker valve needs to be replaced, and I haven't been able to source one yet, so in order to prevent that from getting really gross and smelly, we just haven't been using it at all. The starboard head holding tank has lasted us about a week. So once a week, we've had to make sure that we were somewhere close enough to a pump out station in order to get rid of the waste. Sorry, this is a gross topic, but once we're able to get the joker valve replaced, we should be able to get 2 weeks out of it, and then obviously once we're in a place where it's easy to get offshore, we could really easily last for as long as we want without needing a pump out station. But having said that, this topic really stinks, so let's go.
All right, so glad we're out of there. It should come as no surprise that our production boat is incredibly comfortable to live in. That is, after all, what they're built to do.
But what they're not built to do is perform, and we haven't had an opportunity to really break the sails out yet, but that's what we're going to do next. We're about to take a passage from Beaufort to Charleston, and during that we will hopefully have an opportunity to raise the sails and see how she's going to move, and I have a feeling we're going to be a little disappointed.
Yeah, but something that we also knew going into this and made the trade-off of livability and comfort. So take the good with the bad.
Yeah, our goal is to spend most of our time on anchor, not moving. So we made the conscious choice to prioritize livability over performance, and so far that's living up to the expectation.
And who knows, maybe she'll surprise us.